Itadori is perhaps one of the most unique shonen protagonists we've had in the longest times, and I mean that in a kind of literal way and also a power sense way. I mean, Yuji stands apart from the others like Deku, Luffy, Naruto, Ichigo, and the list goes on and on and on for one reason. Unlike 99% of shonen characters, Yuji is literally so weak in his own universe in comparison to the rest of his peers, the villains. He's often considered this L machine, and it's actually just memed upon how much Yuji goes through and is unable to just even stack up and fight back in comparison to the big bads that he comes across, which brings me to the I am you moment. For this moment, for me personally, is one of the greatest moments in Jujutsu Kaisen as a whole, and maybe even the current generation of manga in general right now. And if you're a Jujutsu Kaisen fan, whether it's anime or manga, then you've more than likely seen this panel floating around the internet more than a couple of times. And with the recent anime episode, I wanted to just dive into this moment because the animators, they truly did this sequence of events they just did it justice, and they brought to life one of the penultimate moments of Yuji's life and the battles he's fought, and they did it in spectacular fashion. You see, this line is talked about in the anime. It's this moment here that's ironic that Yuji says this, because on one hand you have Mahito finding the true essence of his soul, and he does this through Yuji suffering and hitting multiple black flashes throughout the fight. And on the flip side of this coin, Yuji is also finding himself, but he just doesn't know yet. He hasn't realized it. He's finding out his purpose. He finds out what he needs to do in order to move forward and to beat the cases that have cursed not only himself but his friends Nanami, Nobara, and now even caused harm to Todo. The fight as a whole between Yuji and Mahito, it's not just a fight, as Mahito puts it, it's a clash of ideals. It's a war between humans and cases, and Mahito representing the case that kills indiscriminately and the humans that try to save indiscriminately, represented by Yuji. And Mahito makes this very clear to Yuji when he tells Yuji for the first time, "I'm you." And this moment sticks with Yuji throughout the fight. It sticks on Yuji's mind from the moment it's uttered from Mahito's mouth. It sticks in Yuji's brain like a curse. But the longer the fight goes on, the more Yuji starts to accept the fact that Mahito's actually right. And in this moment, Yuji and Mahito, they're the same. Mahito kills people with no remorse, and Yuji would die to try to save anyone who needed his help. They are two sides to the same coin. Selfishness versus selflessness. It's classic good versus evil. But it's not quite that simple, because prior to the damage Mahito causes, Yuji struggled with killing, and it's to this day he still does. And this is shown at this point and multiple other points throughout the fight itself. Mahito takes advantage of Yuji's good and kind-hearted nature, and it's here we see the cold turn of events that Mahito's evolution causes in Yuji, and even says to Yuji that it's his birthday. And unironically, this is almost the birthday of Yuji in some sort of twisted, weird way. It's the birth of a Yuji Itadori who's now decided that Mahito has to die. And this gives rise to Yuji Itadori's cog mentality. This slight spoilers ahead, by the way, here. But we see the same mentality appear at multiple points throughout the Cullen games, with Yuji's mentality becoming just a cog in the bigger picture. It's something that weighs on him. Even weeks and weeks after Mahito is gone, Yuji still carries around with him the physical and mental scars and damage that Mahito caused. In terms of a narrative, Yuji and Mahito for me reminds me kind of Gon and Meruem in their parallels. Yuji starts as this innocent kid who's slowly transformed into a monster through the same monsters that he fights. And obviously Mahito, he doesn't have this redemption arc here in the same way Meruem does. He's a case through and through. But the moment of I am you is more than just the statement. It's more than just a fight. It's the culmination of multiple fights, of multiple mental battles, multiple events and life-changing events that happen to Yuji. Years worth of mental growth, stimulation, breakdowns, breakthroughs happens all for Yuji in this fight, and he lost everything to have arrived at this moment. And remember, the entire Shibuya event, this arc, it all happens within the space of the time of 8:31 p.m. to about 11:30, maybe a little bit later. It is a couple of hours for Yuji to have been transformed from the boy he was who entered Shibuya to the cold, dark man who left Shibuya. And something, for the most part, happens over the course of weeks, months, or even years for most people. And in summary, Yuji Itadori's IMU moment is just absolutely perfect. It's something that we only see once in a generation as far as I'm concerned. An arc like Shibuya, it's often compared to Chimera Ant arc, and in its own right, I think it can hold its weight. It can stand shoulder to shoulder with the Chimera Ant arc as far as I'm concerned. As a loyal fan to both the series, I think it's not a stretch for me to say, and for anyone who's enjoyed both the series, to recognize that these two arcs hold their own weight in their own weight classes and stand shoulder to shoulder. Anyway, that's everything from me. I wanted to hop in here and talk about the episode and the fight in general. It's something that I've been waiting for a long time. A fight that holds, and an arc that holds a lot of emotional weight and a lot of character growth for Yuji at large. And the animators, they went absolutely crazy for this episode. As we wind down for the next couple of episodes, I think they can enjoy a well-deserved break, because they've truly done the series proud, they've done me proud, they've done JJK proud, they've done themselves proud, considering everything that they've gone through to get this season out. But anyway, that's everything from me. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, consider subscribing. We're trying to push for 30k before the year ends, which is lofty goals, I know. But as always, make sure to drink some water, go tell someone you love them, and as always, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Much love, big kisses, peace.